Welcome to UnForm Tips and Tricks for January 2026. This month, we will learn how to convert a .pfx SSL certificate.
Hey everyone. So, have you ever been pulling your hair out trying to get an SSL certificate to work with UnForm? You've got this file, but it just won't cooperate? Well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to tackle that super common problem, converting a pfx certificate into the PEM format that UnForm needs to see. Yeah, if you're running UnForm web services, this one is definitely for you. In just the next few minutes, we are going to take that problem pfx file and turn it into a perfect working PEM file. And the best part? You'll know exactly how and why it all works. All right, so let's get right to it. Why can't you just, use the certificate file you already have? It seems like it should work, right? Well, it all boils down to a classic case of format incompatibility. Think of it this way. pfx files, which you see all the time in the Microsoft world, are kind of like a fancy, locked-up Word document. Everything's bundled inside, the private key, the public certs, the whole shebang, all in one binary package. But UnForm's web server, which is based on Apache, it's more like a basic notepad. It needs everything laid out, piece by piece, in plain text. That's the PEM format. So trying to jam a pfx file into UnForm is literally like trying to open that complex Word doc in Notepad. It's just going to look like gibberish without some kind of translation.
Okay, so how do we do that translation? How do we get from pfx to PEM? Well, we're going to use a super powerful industry standard tool. It's like the Swiss Army knife for this kind of stuff, and you probably already have it on your machine.
And that tool is called OpenSSL. It's a command line utility that is the absolute gold standard for anything to do with SSL certificates and encryption. And hey, I know what you're thinking, command line, but don't worry, I promise, the commands we're about to use are super straightforward. No black magic here. Now, here's the best part. You almost certainly already have it. If you're a Windows user, OpenSSL is actually bundled right with your UnForm installation. Just go look in the HTTPD bin folder. It's right there. And for all you Linux folks, it's a standard package you can install in seconds. So see, no extra downloads needed. We're ready to go. All right, let's get our hands dirty. It's time for the main event. We're going to take our digital crowbar to that pfx file and crack it open. Our goal is to pull out three specific things: the private key, the public certificate, and the certificate chain. First up, and this is the most important one, we need to extract the private key. This is the secret sauce, the crown jewels of your certificate that proves your server is who it says it is. Okay, here's our first command. You're just going to run this in your command prompt and, of course, swap out your file.pfx with the actual name of your file. Now look at that -no certs flag. That's the important bit. It's telling OpenSSL, hey, ignore the certificates for now. Just give me the private key and nothing else. Pretty simple, right? Okay, private key is saved. Awesome. Let's move on to step 2. Now we need to grab the public certificate. This is the part that you actually share with the rest of the world. Now this command looks pretty similar, but the flags are different. See that? We're using -cl certs to tell it, okay, this time I want the client certificate, the main public one. And that no keys flag, that is absolutely critical. It makes sure that we don't accidentally bundle the private key in this public file. You have to keep those two separate. All right, time for the last piece of the puzzle. Your pfx file often includes what's called a certificate chain, or intermediate certificates. The best way to think about it is like a trail of trust that connects your certificate back to a trusted authority. We need to grab that chain too. So for this last step, we use the CAC-certs flag. This tells OpenSSL to specifically go get that supporting chain of certificates. And just like before, we use no keys to keep our private keys safe and sound. And boom, there you have it. 3 separate pieces, all successfully extracted from that pfx file. Oh, and a quick heads up before you start running these. Each time you run one of these commands, it's going to ask you for a password. Don't panic, that's totally normal. It's just asking for the import password, the one that was used to protect the original pfx file when it was first created. All right, so now you know the long way. You understand the 3 pieces and what each command is doing under the hood. You've got the fundamentals down pat. So, now that you've earned it, let me show you the pro-level shortcut. And there it is, one single command. If you don't need 3 separate files, and honestly, most of the time you don't, this one command does everything we just did. It cracks up in the pfx, pulls out the private key, the public cert, and the CA chain, and then it stacks them all together into one beautiful, clean PEM file. For most people, this is the only command you'll ever need. It's just so much faster. And just like that, you're done.
Your certificate is converted, and you are ready to go secure your UnForm server. See, that wasn't some impossible mountain to climb, was it?
Really, this was just a technical bottleneck, a little roadblock. And now you have the exact tools you need to blow right past it, every single time it comes up. You know how to spot the problem, and you've got the commands to fix it.
So that really just leaves one question. Now that you've crushed this problem, what's the next bottleneck you're going to tackle? Thanks for watching. I hope this was a huge help.
If you have any questions or suggestions, email sales@synergetic-data.com. For UnForm tips and tricks, thank you. We'll see you next month.